graffiti, ivy poles, trail repair.
I'm getting to know me more, and so
They sold at least 12 pieces.
Well, it's not, it was never made as an official RISE event, but this looks to me like this was a RISE event.
I can see why they broke the record down.
Fantastic. Well, thank you and congratulations. Announcements. So, I kind of feel like I'm hitting the snooze button this morning when I hit the bell because I'm letting it get later and later and later every morning. I'm going to starting the meeting at 7:55.
Yeah, just wait till AJ takes
You're on your
over.
downhill slope.
Yeah. AJ there anymore.
All right.
Let us talk and then ring the bell twice.
Back to the usual thing that I do after I say something stupid. Is it the truth?
Is it fair, all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right.
Why did you condense that?
All right. Welcome, visitors. We'll start with Bob's table.
Oh, I do. Yes, I have a guest. Everybody, this is Fawn Shear. She is with Arcata Greenway Partners and is the operations chief, right? Operations manager. Please welcome her.
All right. Yes.
ladies.
Hi, I'm Eve Ashford from Arcata Interact. I'm Liza Sloanhouse from Arcata High Interact. And I'm Callie Dayton from Arcata Interact.
All right.
Awesome! Yeah! Woo!
Yes, we have our guest speaker today. This is Ben Moreland from the Trinidad Coastal Land Trust, and I'll be introducing them a little more later.
I love the fact that you guys coordinated your outfits. That is awesome.
Well, if you would have listened, you would have done the same. Plaid is beautiful. Or something. Backpack. Okay, so Lisa's out there, but I know that she'll come in here eventually, but I'm going to make the plug for backpacks here. Who signed up for backpacks? All right, so who's seen the Survey Monkey that went out for backpacks? All right, so if you haven't, please check your email. We've only got 9 weeks left. Is that correct?
Well,
So I can see that she's noticing.
I want the pink.
You want the pink one?
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we hunt that down for you. Lisa, would you like to say anything about backpacks?
Did I get my email yesterday?
So I just wanted to know if anybody's, I didn't even look this morning, did anybody sign up for delivery? No?
I'll deliver.
You'll deliver? Are you going to deliver to all the schools or just one?
I'll do all.
All of them? Woo, perfect, thank you so much.
All right. It was easy. Now, more people for backpacks. We need to keep signing up for backpacks because we're not done. 9 weeks, right? 9 weeks, counting this week. So, this week. Yes. Who is going to pack today? We have hands. We have 4, 5. Get a couple more, perhaps. Perfect.
Newspapers today too to go in.
Perfect. All right. So, there's a backpack reminder again at the end of the meeting, and I'll ask the same thing, and you'll tell me you're annoyed with me for saying the same thing over and over. Okay. All right. Vocational awards. So, has anybody sent in any vocational award nominees? Anybody?
On my desk.
Would someone like to make a plug for the vocational awards?
Please send in vocational award.
See, look! Do you see how good that was? It was so fast. It was so fast I couldn't even tell him he had to come up front to say it.
Does anyone not understand what it is? You guys know what it is?
Fawn doesn't, you can explain it.
All right. So
Yes.
vocational award is we're recognizing someone in the community for having Rotarian-like values. So it's someone who does community service or gives back to the larger community or globally. Someone who does our 4-way test, and that's what we see. We wish they would have Rotarian spirit in them. So basically, and they get a donation. Half of it goes to a scholarship, half of it goes to a place of their choice, and the other half goes to college and career center.
We also used to give them a, Paul Harris.
Paul Harris.
We're testing it, just in case anyone didn't get it. All right. Taste of spring, and she ran back out there. Just, I mean, there is this lovely little hat. And I'm gonna say, and yeah,
It went down on your head?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come off now.
I think this is part of me now. So, I'm seeing some more lovely hats coming this way. I mean, at least one. I know that Sarah had a beautiful hat. So
Sarah's.
there are a couple hats.
Yeah.
More hats? All right. So, I don't see Brandon here.
No.
I think
It's
it
the
might
only excuse that's actually.
I was going to say, I think the only legitimate excuse he could possibly have, he probably has. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Picture? What's the baby's name?
Maverick.
Is it Maverick? Okay. Wow.
No picture yet. But would you like to come up and say a word or two about the Taste of Spring? I thought you would. Wow, and this thing is amazing. It was, she brought it in.
Jared's got the hat.
Thank you everybody so far that's bought your tickets and wine and donation. We're off to a good start. We're a little bit over 20 vendors now, and right around 8 or 9 spirit and wine and beer pours too. So it's shaping up to be real fun. Continue to push the raffle tickets. That's the way. One of the ways we're going to generate the money is in the $10 raffle tickets for the 3 main derby prizes: the trip for 4 to Mexico, instant wine cellar, and then a $2,000 cash prize. So just so you know, it's going to be in a big bowl, and then we're going to throw all the tickets in, and you have a chance of winning the Triple Crown, which is all 3 of them. So the more you buy, the better your odds are for that. Anyway, Romy.
How many drink tickets do they get with their ticket?
That's a good question. We were actually just talking about that. One would keep 2, maybe not. Yeah.
And, because we're coordinating the cleanup people, is it done at 8?
9 this year.
Whoa, it's
Yeah.
5 to 9?
You sure you want to do that? Vendors, some of our vendors ran out of food last
If they
year.
run out of food, that's fine. The party continues. The drinking continues.
Keep going.
Yeah, we just said 5, and then it cuts off at 9.
Only
But
because of daylight savings.
yeah, since it's a spring event, it's gonna, we want to take advantage of the light and whatnot. And that's the idea. So.
The raffle is at 8, so people will start dissipating after that.
It's like 20 minutes later, everybody's So that's that. We'll be on TV and on the radio. We're on Facebook, and so get the word out and really push the raffle tickets and get the event tickets sold. Anything else, Lee?
No, but I want everybody to admire Karen's beautiful work up on the, that's going to be one of the centerpieces. It's great. She's just amazing. She's just got all these ideas. Oh, and we're having a vendor sign painting party tomorrow morning at my house. So anybody that wants to come and help paint, the table signs that we put on each of the vendor tables, they've been in the storage for every year and for so many years and haven't been repainted, so we're going to repaint them. Okay, so if anybody wants to come, more than welcome, 10 o'clock.
Repaint, sinners, repaint.
Alrighty, that's that.
You come every week, don't you? You're going to keep coming too, aren't you? All right. So, once again, whoa, that's not the once again I was trying for. This is the once again I was trying. Do it. Yeah. Do it.
What was that?
Well,
This morning, baseball match.
so,
It's almost got it.
has anyone watched Office Space? And if you've watched Office Space, it seems to me that I should smash this computer. However, that doesn't seem appropriate because, well,
Where's the IT?
it's not the fault of the computer, it's probably the fault of the user.
Oh, you almost had it.
It's so close. I know it wants to do it, and I know that you guys really want to sit here and watch me work on a computer. Look, there's a picture. So, I'm gonna let you come up and mess with that while I talk instead, because that's
Okay, don't get out of frame.
Okay, I have to stay in frame though. So anyway, what this is since I gave you props last week for sending me things, you sent me things, and I tried to put those things into the slideshow, which will come up. This is a different slideshow, so just don't worry about that. But anyway, you apparently had a lovely showing.
I did.
Would you like to say something about your lovely showing? It won't have a slide with it,
Okay.
but you can say something about it.
Yeah, I had my art show, my second one.
There we are.
Last Saturday. It's really.
I don't know.
It's there.
We all sort of got
It might have been the format.
That's exactly how I planned it.
No, trust me, it's not the
I
format.
was trying to give you a break. Yeah, so it was really well received. I'm really excited. I was really happy. Fatty Klein said that we broke their record for sales for Arts Alive. Nice. So
Wow.
it was great. Nice. It was really fun getting to know the Rotarians a little bit more and.
The Stephen Brodhag third annual golf tournament is coming up May 31st, and I think I was telling everybody the wrong thing. It's to benefit Humboldt County Search and Rescue and North Coast Stand Down, the Purple Heart Cruise. So anyway, if anybody is interested in forming a team, I have 2 teams already and they're both full, but I would love to get another Rotary team together if you can. So if anybody's interested, just raise your hand and you might be able to find or pick somebody up.
I think I just shot your chance of getting a Rotary team.
There's an easy way to stop hands from going up. It's this. Just one person. You and I it just
Talk to me. I will form the Rotary team. We will get some. I don't care if you can't play. Just get out there.
Dick, I'm glad you're doing that because it's going to support search and rescue, and I know that's what happens when you hit the golf ball.
They're going to be out there to help you find it.
That's right.
Other announcements?
I know that Jeff has already plugged this, but this is the last weekend for Arcata High's Guys and Dolls. And if you have not seen it yet, it's tonight and tomorrow night. And I saw it last night. Jeff was there too. It was amazing. And I go every year to this, and I'm blown away every year. Callie is back. She's in it. She does a great job. But it's a fabulous performance. So it's tonight and tomorrow night. I think at 7 both nights.
Yeah,
right?
7 o'clock is
7
when it
o'clock.
starts. Get there 6:30. Tickets at the door.
Yeah, highly recommend it.
Excellent.
Okay.
You're really close to the camera.
So I'm sad to announce that our next outbound youth exchange candidate, Julia McLeod, has withdrawn from the program. She and her family discussed some medical concerns that have come forward from her past, and they all decided together it was not an easy decision for Julia. She debated on it for about a month, and with Brian Lovell, the new outbound counselor and coordinator's guidance and help, she finally came to the conclusion that it just was not something she could do under the 4-way test for the program. So there are details that I'm not allowed to share because they are medical background in nature, but trust that this is the right decision for her. On the positive side, her mom is actually very interested in becoming a Rotarian here and will start coming again on her own, and Julia, I think, is helping out at the event.
Taste of Spring.
The very delicious, I'm sure,
Yeah, I'm not giving it back.
granola, the granola that Scott donated towards Julia has, through Scott's guidance, is donating that back to the program. There's a mindfulness book workbook that the future outbound students and future inbound students will be using with Claire's guidance to help them deal with the stresses and many pressures that come with an exchange. So there is some positive out of this, and if you see her, encourage her. We all know she's a great gal, so she's sad to be gone. We still have an inbound coming though.
So there's no backup, there's no
No,
replacement
it's
for an outbound.
unfortunately far too late in the process for a backup to even start.
Can we send you?
So, it's interesting because this week I didn't pick my Rotarian of the Week, and I remembered that as soon as Nick brought this up to me and said, hey, I think that I'm going to have to give it to Ian because you just had to stand up in front of the club and be the bearer of bad news, and that's no fun. But I would give this to Brandon, but he's not here. So we'll give him something different instead because he didn't give me a picture, so he can't be here. So.
And I'm going to pass this to Interact because they showed up this morning.
So there's you guys can fight over it, determine what you would like to do. That's a $5 gift certificate to Los Bagels. I would prefer if you didn't fight over it. That would be better. All right. So, on that note, for some reason, I'm not even going to get to this. Would you like to introduce Ben?
Yes. Yes, I would. Get on up here. Can't find my glasses, so I'll try to. Anyway, I have the pleasure of introducing Ben Moreland. Ben is the executive director at the Trinidad Coastal Land Trust, so I get to work very closely with him on some amazing projects in one of the most beautiful places in the world. And Ben is a Humboldt State alum, an undergrad and a master's degree in natural resources, and he's worked in land conservation field for almost 25 years in Humboldt County. And he's helped direct successful conservation projects with the sanctuary forest in the Mattole River headwaters, and was a founding board member and projects director with the North Coast Regional Land Trust, working on ranch and conservation easements. Ben's been executive director of the Trinidad Land Trust for the past 4 years. His wife is a midwife at the birth center. He's very involved in raising and coaching his 2 sons and daughter through the Trinidad and Arcata High School, and he's here today to share a little more about the Trinidad Coastal Land Trust. Please welcome Ben.
Hey, good morning. Thank you very much for hosting me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's special to me because my father is also a Rotarian for 25 years in the LA area, the Manhattan Beach Rotarian Club. So it's nice to be here, and I know that you guys do really great work, and congratulations. Let's see, so I just wanted to give a brief slideshow of the Trinidad Coastal Land Trust as an organization and a lot of the land holdings and the projects and programs that we're working on. So I'll just jump right into it. I have 50 slides, I'll be quick. Does that work? Yeah, okay, so sorry about the aspect. The pictures aren't going to look as great as they will live and direct, so you'll have to come up to Trinidad to see it for yourself. But our organization has been around for 40 years. We had our 40th anniversary last fall, and with a mission to protect coastal access, and our focus area is from the Little River to Big Lagoon, the greater Trinidad coast. And right now, our land trust organization, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We hold 26 coastal properties in either fee title ownership or with a conservation easement on private properties. That includes some of the most beautiful properties that you're probably familiar with. So this map is on our website, but if you can't read it, it just shows the coastline from Trinidad Head there all the way down to the Little River, and the outlines in red are some of the public access and trail properties that we share with the public. We also have conservation easements on private properties that don't allow for public access that aren't on this map. But I wanted to just go through some of these properties and just share some of the special characteristics. that include Luffenholtz Beach and Huda Point and such, and we'll start with the southern end at Moonstone Beach. This is the little river going into Moonstone Beach here, maybe Humboldt County's favorite family beach. The Land Trust is affiliated in that we hold a public access easement for the parking lot that allows the public to access this beach, and we work in cooperation with the Merriman family and Humboldt County Parks, and we do things like beach cleanups and ivy pulls, and the last few years we've helped with regrading and graveling the parking lot. Moonstone Beach. So I'll just go through several of these properties. The next property that we own is the 20-acre Pilot Point Nature Reserve, which is located adjacent to Moonstone Beach. So if you walk to the end of Moonstone Beach, where the cliff and the waterfall is, that hillside up above, that forest, is this Pilot Point Nature Reserve. It doesn't have public access, but it does have a partnership with the HSU Geology Department that acknowledges some special fossils and some special fossils that they've found embedded in the hillside here, as well as special plants, and it's a beautiful forest right on the coast with great views. And many of you have probably been to the Huda Point Beach Park. Some folks think this is a county park or a state park, but it's actually owned and managed by the Trinidad Coastal Land Trust. It's our most managed property. It's the property with the anchor chain parking lot, and it's the most popular surfing, one of the most popular surfing places in Humboldt, known as Camel Rock. There, it doesn't really look like Camel Rock the way the picture is drawn out, but it is. And that's Button Rock there at low tide, just the most beautiful, magnificent beach for viewing. And we have several trails, or 3 primary trails on this property that we maintain every year. And we work with the BLM and other folks on special interpretive signage. And it's used by a wide array of folks, from painting, bird watching, surfing, and just enjoying the sunset. These are just some of the views from up at the top of Huda Point Lookout. And we also own the North Luffenholtz Beach parcel, which is connected to the main Luffenholtz Beach access with the trail and such. And we help manage the state-owned Luffenholtz Beach Park. It was formerly a county park. It's actually not managed as either right now. The state nor the county are taking care of this place. So for the past couple of years, the Land Trust has done cleanups, painted over graffitiers, low tide walks and such. And then this is some of the views from the Luffenholtz Point or Tapana Point, looking north at the beach there during low tide. Just spectacular natural resources there. And this is an example of one of the ivy cleanups and Scotch broom and the pampas grass that we work with HSU students and other clubs like the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts to get volunteer work done, taking care of the land there. And then traveling up a little bit further north up Scenic Drive is Baker Beach. Baker Beach now has an official, really nice trailhead sign that we recently put in, not included in the slideshow, but it's another 20-acre property that the Land Trust owns and manages. We've improved, it's got a new trailhead sign and such, but the views are magnificent. The low tide, there's Trinidad Head behind Baker Beach low tide. We manage the trail. We just last weekend I was out there with 20 HSU students and a few other adult volunteers, and we repaired the trail steps at the bottom of Baker, which were almost vertical from the huge winter swells and the high tides. It eats away the coast every winter. So it is our responsibility on the trails that we manage to go out there every spring and re-stabilize and slope the bottoms of the trails. So that was recently done for Baker Beach. This is, the point at the south end of Baker, Satsin Point. Some of these places still have, Yurok names, and that's one of them. I should know the meaning of some of these Yurok names, but I don't. But that, a special forest that we're working to keep the ivy out of. And this is an example of one of the work days from a prior year, re-stabilizing the slopes. Carol's probably in this picture. Maybe you can see some some folks down here. That's on one of the low tide walks that Carol Vandermeer helps to coordinate and lead for the public, and some of the programs that we have, like a naturalist training course that we call the Ambassadors Program, as well as a citizen science seabird monitoring program, which is really a great model that some of the agencies are excited about. We have, I think, 20 plus volunteers now that follow protocol to gather data for seabird monitoring as a part of a bigger project. So moving on, we're affiliated with the City of Trinidad Trails through a matrix of private properties that we have an easement on, or this is an example of a property that we were donated down to. This is the Parker Creek Trail down to Old Home Beach, formerly known as Indian Beach. And it's just a trail that we manage with the City of the City of Trinidad. Really quick, we also own a redwood grove right outside the scenic drive outside of the City of Trinidad that we hope to someday connect through the city trail and have a redwood forest to the beach loop trail in Trinidad. So that's a goal that I'm working towards, but it's a slow process through the politics and the neighboring landowners. Our land trust recently, we've been in our own office now for about 4 years. We did a capital campaign for $100,000 about 6 years ago, and now we have a beautiful gallery/office next to the Trinidad Library in the new Saunders Park complex. And that's a cooperative effort with the nonprofit Museum Society, the library, the county library on the city property here, and then our land trust gallery office. And we participate in the art nights and have gallery exhibit shows. And these are just pictures of this new park. If you haven't been there, please check it out during, I think the last slide I've got in this, it's the first Friday of the month is our Trinidad Art Nights, and it's a nice, several venues, nice, a couple hours of strolling around if you're interested. Our land trust also does, tabling at events and such, guided hikes, like I mentioned. This is an example of our 2018 hike schedule and our 2019. You'll see posted around town coming soon. We just started a business sponsorship program, so we're looking for additional business sponsors for our hike program, and you can find all this information on our website, which you'd be listed on our website and acknowledged. Businesses are listed on our website and acknowledged on during events and such. This is one of the low tide walks that we offer. This year is exciting. We just purchased a beach wheelchair, and we're going to be offering all access beach walks in addition to the low tide and hikes that we do. The work, the Boy Scouts, the California Conservation Corps doing the working on our properties. We advertise stewardship days. We do the first Saturdays of the month for the past several months. We've offered projects, like I mentioned, at Baker Beach, Luffenholtz Beach, Huda Point, Moonstone Beach, and we work with the Pack Out Green team on a scenic drive cleanup. So in the last few years, we've really stepped up our efforts and our programs and our identity, and just, it's the first time that I've had the chance to present to you here, so I'm glad to share this. And in conclusion, this is an example of the bottom of the steps at Huda Point. This is the steps that the surfers all go down to access Camel Rock, and it's in pretty bad condition. We didn't have the time to get to it last week, but our next work day is April 27, and we plan to, the bottom 15 feet of the steps are like walking on a tightrope. You're bouncing and above ground, and so we have to get in there and restabilize with logs and rocks, and it's a pretty, primitive task, but it feels good and it gets the job done, moving sticks and rocks. And so in conclusion, a couple of the major programs and projects that we're currently working on that aren't, a part of our existing properties right now. Well, this is a big one. This is a key part of my 5-year plan and working with the organization is to create a stewardship fund similar to universities or other organizations where we want to raise $2 million to hold in a fund that would take care of our 26 and growing properties for in perpetuity for future generations, where we could have a dedicated fund. It's held at the Humboldt Area Foundation right now. It's got $100,000 in it at this moment as of a couple of years, mainly from the Trinidad Trust Fund, landowners in town that really saw the benefit of something like this and basically gave us their fund to take care of the land. So I'm doing planned giving workshops and notices in our newsletter and such, and trying to get folks interested to donate in their will cash and real estate to fund this program. You might have also heard we're working on the Strawberry Rock Trail. We have an agreement with Green Diamond, and I'm working with other key organizations and entities to try to negotiate the purchase of a small trail corridor to Strawberry Rock that would include a redwood grove. This is the view from the top of Strawberry Rock, and this is one of the redwood groves that, so I'm working with the Save the Redwoods League and some of the Native American representatives and the Coastal Conservancy and the land, just trying to make this happen. It's harder than it should be, so no end in sight yet. You might have also heard of another really cool project, the Little River California Coastal Trail. This is, this map probably shows it better, but that's the Little River estuary there. At the top of this map is the end of Scenic Drive, and that green polygon is the parcel that the Land Trust now owns. So we purchased from Green Diamond in 2014, this 15 acres. It's adjacent to state parks to the south, and a feasibility study has been done, and we're trying to raise money with Caltrans as the lead agency to build the missing link in the California Coastal Trail that would connect Patrick's Point State Park all the way to the Humboldt Bay Trail off highway as a future goal. So people are really jazzed about this, but still, I can't even believe it costs millions of dollars for the permits and the planning and the engineering and the construction, and we're still working with the county and Caltrans and the granting agencies to get this done. So this was going to be on my 5-year plan. I think I'm in year 3 now. This is probably going to be several more years before it's completed. But the ownerships are ready to go, and it will happen, and hopefully sooner than later. Our supervisor, Steve Madrone, is a big advocate for this trail. He was a part of the feasibility study years ago, so he's helping me to just politically push it forward.
Would it require another bridge?
We would have to build a parallel pedestrian bicycle bridge. That's where the cost comes in. Yeah. Because the existing bridge, the Highway 101, isn't legally wide enough, and the specs don't work for what we're looking for a pedestrian trail. Yeah. So it's been vetted. This is the end of Scenic Drive, where the future trailhead of the Little River California Coastal Trail will begin. And this is on our property, and this would be the view that you would get paralleling the highway on your bike or walking. This is the Highway 101 bridge, and it would end up at the Hammond Trail at Clam Beach. I think this is my last slide. Just wanted to share all of this information with additional maps and how you can join and volunteers on our website. We post Facebook often for events that we list. We have events all the time. So please join us as a member or just sign up to learn more. And like I mentioned, the Trinidad Art Nights, we have our gallery next to the library. The first Fridays, May through September. So that's it. Thanks for your patience and listening to me just, I'm looking for a good picture to just end on. How about that?
You gotta earn that.
There's a lot going on. I talk fast. There's more to share. But in the few minutes, is there any questions?
You mentioned Scenic Drive. Of course, that's the artery that services that entire piece of the coast. Every time I drive that thing, which is only periodically, I'm glad I have an all-wheel drive vehicle. Is the future of that just a continuous Band-Aid approach?
Probably,
or are they ever gonna, anybody ever gonna, I mean, it sure appears that at some point something could drop out and that thing could be, that artery could be cut off even. I mean,
Yeah, that's a threat.
So it's really tenuous.
It's a county road, and I've met with the county, Tom Mattson a few times, and just in this past fall, I did a driving tour with them, pointing out some of the issues and such. They want to take the Band-Aid approach. That's what the county wants to do, and with it even a threat of like giving up on it if something major were to happen. So we would not support that and advocate against that, as would many of the landowners there. But there are some other projects going on being proposed, like a frontage road and such, to address the geology and instability there. But there's many landslides that the county is always patching up, and it's a worry. Yes.
You talked about membership. I was just wondering what the structure of the whole
Yeah.
trust was.
Yep. So we're a nonprofit, and like I mentioned, it was founded in 1978. So our founders originally set this organization up as a membership organization where, similar to, we accept donations, but you become a member and you have voting rights to vote on board members and other critical issues that in our changes to bylaws or articles of incorporation and such. But in practicality, it's just it plays out just like a regular donation membership to an environmental nonprofit. Yeah. But you get our newsletter as a member. You get special invites. You now get discounts on our T-shirts and hats and new mugs. Come to the art night and you can see what we have to offer.
Does the state or county give any funding to like adjoining areas?
Yeah. So, a lot of folks think that the county park helps us, or that what we own and manage as a county. County doesn't help us with much. They're full, they're under budgeted as well. So we depend on donations and small grants. We recently got, we're in the third year of a state coastal conservancy grant to fund our environmental education program. That's allowed Carol to come on. So that, just having a little bit of state money helps us take care of other things. The county helps us out in other ways. When we do big trash pickups, they'll help us with their truck and take it to the dump. But we're doing most of the work. Yeah.
There are other trust companies in this area.
Yeah.
How do you relate to that?
Yeah. So the land trusts are an international and what do you say, field or industry sector. Land trusts in the United States are huge. There's a national organization that we belong to, and then in California might have the most nonprofit land trusts of any state, and Humboldt County has 5 or 6 as well. So we operate, on our own and in our focus areas, but there is an umbrella effort to coordinate, and actually Carol is a part of the umbrella. It's one of the many hats she wears. The
Northern Region
Council, where we're about a dozen different land trusts from Sonoma County to Siskiyou, come together as a regional entity to plan and talk about and give each other updates and tips.
Especially then the coast.
Ours is the Trinidad Coast from Little River to Big Lagoon. Jacoby Creek is just Jacoby Creek. Sanctuary Forest is the Mattole River headwaters. The North Coast Regional Land Trust was developed to fill in the in-between spaces, primarily the working private properties. So we have our niches.
Do you guys work at all with the marine sanctuaries?
Not exactly. The marine protected areas, those Trinidad was excluded from that because for reasons such as the Trinidad Rancheria and the Yurok tribe and other Native American entities, they lobbied against a no fishing zone in the Trinidad area and are working with the agencies to just best manage that while including fishing. So it was a neat opportunity that I think is working. We work with the California Coastal National Monument. I didn't even bring that up, but in 2019, President Obama made one of his last executive orders, which was including a portion of Trinidad Head as the newest onshore unit of the California Coastal National Monument. All the offshore rocks are managed by the BLM as a part of the California Coastal National Monument. From San Diego to the Oregon border, all the rocks you see offshore are part of this national monument. So we work with the BLM in helping to advertise, educate, and do some on-land restoration work around that. Yeah.
Everybody good? Perfect.
Yeah, and that covers it.
I think we got
Oh,
it.
and I brought some newsletters. So we put out an annual newsletter, and this says 2018, but it's our current newsletter. The new one should be coming for members. Members will get mailed a new one probably in the next month or two. But it covers all of our programs and has a donation envelope if you're interested. I'll leave it right here.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Ben. Wheelchair Foundation for speaking, so thank you very much.
Oh, great, thank you guys.
And you will be available for a few minutes after. All right. I'm not going to play with this, but I see tickets in hand. Do we have the raffle tickets? Raffle? Yes.
Sure.
While everybody's thinking about it, please check in on Facebook sometime today. I suggest people go to our Facebook Spring page.
Tickets for me. Thank you. All right. Number
It's a copy and
one
paste thing.
is, ooh, I'm getting one she just handed me. It is, the last three are 363. 363. Excellent. I suppose that means a little thing for you. This is not my normal job. What am I doing?
You're doing a great
You're doing a great job.
This is perfect. This is perfect.
All righty. Yay, AJ.
$1 on the table.
All right, it's $5. All righty, and the next ticket, the last three was 351. Is that Terry? There we go.
You don't get to say that you know.
351. I thought you had a, I should know it. 351, 351.
Juan, take us right after me.
Am I saying that right? 351? Really? Oh, is it you?
Okay.
It really is.
Wasn't it you last week too, Dick?
Is it
351.
351? Woo! I wasn't sure if you were just waving at me. Hi, Romy.
I'm doing this
Just so
left-handed,
calm
so.
and quiet.
And you also get $5. Woo!
Fantastic. So, if we all look over at the backpacks,
Yeah, they're all
we have an industrious little group over there who's decided to start. You guys are doing great. You need us to send more people that way? We're going to send you. The answer is yes. There we go.
always yes.
It is always yes. So, today is officially going to be a short meeting because things didn't show up that we're supposed to. But next week we'll have pictures for Brandon. Next week we're going to have an exciting report from Finn. And everyone can go down and fill backpacks because we have extra time. So, before I end, apparently.
Yeah, we have enough.
Oh no, you gotta come
Yeah.
up. You gotta come up.
Oh, nice.
Come on down.
You're gonna hop in at the end. We're gonna make you come on up. You can bring support with you.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
everybody.
Hello. We're with Arcata High Interact, like we said before. So a couple updates of things that we're doing in our club. We had some people go to an informational meeting about polio and go present to elementary school kids, which is really interesting. And a lot of the kids were started trying to donate some of their money to try and help for raising awareness. And they were like third graders, so it was really nice to see that. We're working on replacing a bench on our school campus. We've got a Makers Fair coming up, and we're doing a mixer to raise funds and awareness for Alzheimer's. We're also forming an Interact Social, which is going to be an event between our Interact Club and a couple of the other Interact clubs in the area, so we can start trying to work together on events and have more volunteers and that kind of thing.
I have a question. You said you have a makers fair?
A maker's fair, yeah.
Is that?
So basically, we happen like every month or so, and it's basically a time where parents can bring their small elementary children, and there's a lot of fun games and fun little things like, I don't know, the past couple times I've been like, there are different things like having to stack cups all the way up, or like, you know, just fun things where they can really show their creativity. And yeah.
There's actually a Maker's Night tonight at Arcata High School. I think it's like from 5 or 4:30 to like pretty late at night, like 9. And we've got lots of kids from AAI, the Arcata Arts Institute, doing fun craft projects, and then also kids from Makers working with the kids to do like fun laser cutting projects and things like that.
So the parents get a night away?
No.
They participating, parents and kids
participate
doing
or
these
guide their
activities.
kids through. It's like a room. They get a circuit.
Very cool.
Yeah. And finally, because I know you guys wanted to hear more about it, our spaghetti dinner on May 3rd. We have tickets. We know it's the same night as your event, but we have decided to start it an hour earlier just for you guys if you wanted to come before your event. 6 to 9. So, yes, so we're going to allow for you guys to come at 5 o'clock before your event and get spaghetti dinner. Tickets are $8 for one, or
$30 of family of 4.
Yeah, so if you're interested, you can see us after the meeting, and thank you. Thank you.
That's fantastic. They just jump in for me.
Yeah, well done.
That's support. See, that's the thing.
Oh, I didn't want you to end early.
You're great with yours. No signal.
We're in your life. We're right there. Make a signal.
You know what?